Welcome to Peak, Train Like a Girl, a podcast for girls in sport, by girls and coaches in sport. We are so glad you're here. And I have to tell you, every time I look on this platform that we record on, Podbean, and I see the incredible growth this podcast is having, it absolutely warms my heart. But also the different countries we are reaching. We're in about 22 different countries right now. And it just goes to show you that this is a conversation that is happening globally. So I am so appreciative of everybody who listens to the podcast, who shares the podcast, and who is willing to give of their time and energy to be on the podcast. We just ended March, which is International Women's History Month, and just celebrating all of the women who have made an impact and who did hard things, who were the first people to come into the space to run the Boston Marathon or to want to wrestle as a girl in high school or to play soccer collegiately. All those people who did it for the first time and kind of fought those battles. I just was reminded just to give them a huge shout out and a huge thank you, because it's not easy being the first. And so anyways, that's kind of my little wrap up there. I'm going to bring Caitlin in because I forgot to even ask Caitlin if she and I are still friends. We took a break on our friendship for a little time last week, and I'm just wondering if are we still friends? Are we not friends? You want to fill people in?
Yeah, you know what? Thanks for clearing the air, Samson. Thank you for giving me a couple of days to think about it. For those who don't know, I'm a University of Texas student, and Texas played the Boilermakers in March Madness, and my Longhorns took a bit of a hit. So, you know what? I think I'm going to need a little bit more time, but today our relationship is back on.
Awesome. Yes, we were exchanging text messages and we agreed to just temporarily put our relationship on hold. It's all good. But you know what? The girls' tournament right now, or the women's tournament right now, and the men's tournament right now, that's what athletics is about. Am I right?
Absolutely. Our women are doing so amazing. They're just so great to watch. It's been really fun.
Yeah, it's been absolutely incredible. And we have this huge board in our workout room where we have these big, huge pieces of tape, and so clients can see it. And so the board has been moving both in the men's and the women's categories since March Madness has started. So it's been pretty fun to get all of my clients also involved.
That's
Speaking
awesome.
of clients and collegiate athletes, this is really fun because our next guest happens to be a incredible human, collegiate athlete, somebody I've known for quite a while because I've had the privilege of watching her play high school soccer. But I also get the privilege of working with her in her off season during her high school and now collegiate career. So it's been amazing. And just by coincidence, she happens to be one of Caitlin's really, really good friends. So, Erin, thank you for taking the time to be on the pod.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we are so glad you're here. Are you ready to get warmed up?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right,
I just want to add how funny you guys are with the March Madness.
That's hilarious.
Thank you, Erin.
Of course. Thanks for getting our humor.
I'm ready. Now I'm ready.
Yeah, as we were getting prompted to get on here, I said you can be as serious as you want, or we can sit around and make a bunch of jokes because we can do both. It's all good. All right, I'm actually super curious about this: pool or beach?
Beach.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, I wasn't going to ask you winter or summer because I know the answer to that.
Yeah.
Which is
summer.
Obviously, but I didn't know. I wasn't sure if you were a strictly pool girl or if you preferred the beach, but you prefer the beach.
Yes, I love both. Obviously, I have a pool, but I'm a Florida girly and I love the beach. I love the ocean. I love the sand. Everything about it. Mhm.
I want to come back to that. I want to come back to the Florida thing because I want to ask about your decision during high school, which I know was hard, to whether to play in Florida or to commit to Marion, which is where you are in Indiana? Because I know that the
Yeah.
geography definitely made an impact, but I want to talk through some of that recruiting process with you after we
Yeah,
get
of
warmed
course.
up. All right, lipstick or lip balm?
Lip balm,
Yeah, I didn't think
I'm
it
gonna
was
have
going to
to
be
say.
lipstick.
Yeah. I'm not a huge makeup person, but I don't like when my lips are chapped.
Yeah, me either. It's the worst,
So,
right?
it's the worst.
Do
And
you
with the
have a
winter and
yes.
so
Not
how
fun.
bipolar it is, it's not fun.
Do you have a go-to lip balm?
No.
Mm,
No,
okay.
I kinda just pick whatever I have in my drawer, in my nightstand. And
Nice.
summer Fridays maybe,
Oh, okay.
cool.
I like
I've
that
been
one.
on that trend. Yeah, I've been on that.
All right, here's another one I'm curious about. Is your preference to watch soccer or baseball?
Soccer.
Oh, I wasn't
Yeah,
sure about that because Erin also comes from a baseball family, and maybe we'll
yeah,
get into that here in a minute. But again, thank you for being here. Why don't you, so we can get into some of the harder hitting questions?
yeah.
Why don't you fill us in? What's your story of being a girl in sport? You can start anywhere you want.
Well, I have been playing soccer for ever now, since I was 4, and I had the opportunity to play with Caitlin, who's on
Yeah.
right now. And I think growing up, I played a lot of different sports. I was in gymnastics, basketball, tennis, I played for a bit, but my main 2 were basketball and soccer. And I grew up kinda in a competitive family. I have 3 older brothers, so they would always push me to my limit, basically, which really translates to now where I'm very competitive and I like to win, but also fuel my teammates with, like, successful mindset. But, yeah, that's about it. I'm at Marian right now, which is an amazing campus, and I have met my best friends, my best teammates ever. But yeah,
Well, I guess I'll get started first. Well, this was mentioned, but Erin is such a great friend of mine since really early on, and we played soccer together forever, and she probably is too humble to say this, but the most well mentally strong, the best energy on the team. I still get really scared thinking about when I had to 1v1 her in soccer, and she's been doing such an amazing job. And I just want to ask Erin specifically about the transition that you've experienced in these last couple years with you now playing soccer collegiately. Like, what has that been like for your mind, for your body, like socially with your teammates? How has it been?
it's been good. Obviously, high school to college is a big switch because in high school, you're going to class after class for what is it, 8 hours? But in college, you don't pick your schedule, but you get some gaps and you just have free time to fill those gaps the way you need to. So I'll feel my body in those gaps, but I I don't know, it's definitely been challenging, but a great challenging. I'm with, like, my team all the time. I wake up my morning routine, let's get into that, is I wake up at 5:30 every morning for practice,
Okay.
and I go to my 8 AM, which is now it's not always 8 AM, but then I just start my day, and I feel like waking up that early obviously was a hard hit in the beginning because freshman year I was not a morning person, but now it's getting easier and I wake up with more energy and I have more energy throughout the day to get my stuff done because I feel like I was so productive in the morning. So now I'm on that mindset of, okay, let's get my homework done. Let's get whatever I need done to end the day on a right note.
Yeah, absolutely. How have you found, like, you've talked about you've had to switch your routine, get in the groove of things, like, how have you found it's been managing your academics with your team in athletics?
It's definitely easier than I thought coming in, just knowing that everyone on the team is doing the same thing.
Mhm.
We have each other's backs, and obviously we're not the same majors or anything like that, but we're with each other 24/7, and even if we don't see each other in those times of classes, we always motivate each other to do your homework, study for that test, and we always have like a group study if needed. I remember freshman year, we did something called study tables, and it was mandatory for the soccer team to show up and get your homework done because it was a standard that we set for the team. And with that freshman year, I kind of just have that in the back of my mind that I need to manage my time wisely.
Absolutely.
That's incredible. I love that you talk about the closeness of your team, and
Mhm.
that can be hard, if especially if you don't all get along, right? It can be hard
Right.
or it can be motivating and easy. I'm just curious how when you talk about the culture of the team or the standard, you've used that word a couple times. So the standard is you go to class, you go to the study tables, you get good grades, you show up for practice on time. So that's the standard. Who's setting that? Is that coming from the athletes? Is it a coach down approach? Fill us in there.
Yeah. So it's basically the team. We like to call ourselves a family because we are a family on and off the field, but it's set through the team. And we have a leadership council every year. We set a new one, and I happen to be on this year. So I'm very grateful for that. But that's just leadership group of 5 people, and we are there just to keep that standard. If we see it's falling, whether that be in like finishing or defending or even off the field when something's going wrong, like we're the ones that like talk about it and address that issue. And I think that's why we are so good as a team and so close.
I love that.
Yeah.
Let's backtrack a little and talk about I was there when you were making this decision, which in high school, and I'm not diminishing the decision, but it can be so all consuming, the recruiting process into college, whatever type of sport you play. And I think that most kids in high school have this vision that they are going to play Division 1 athletics and that there's nothing else out there. There's no other opportunities. There's no other choice. It's D1 or done. And I think that when you're looking at a more holistic picture of college, because you keep talking about academics, I know academics is important to you, but you're
Mhm.
talking about social also. You're socializing with your team and they've become your friends and they've become your family. You've talked about fuel, you talk about rest. So for you has been a holistic approach. And I'm curious when you were in high school and you were thinking about what was next. I'm wondering a couple things. Was this holistic approach something you were really thinking about? And if you weren't going to go Division 1, I know you're at NAIA, maybe explain to kids what that is and
Mhm.
also explain to them some of the opportunities that has given you, also the level of play you are still at. So I know there's a lot of
Right.
questions in there, but let's see if you can sift through some of that.
Yeah. So in high school, I really didn't even think of until my junior year, I didn't think I wanted to play soccer actually.
Hmm.
And it was through my club that I became more confident as a player. And, junior year, senior year, you have college scouts coming out to watch you that you don't really see your sophomore year because you're just super young. At least that was my mindset. But so I gained my confidence through soccer, through club soccer, and I saw these scouts looking at me and, I got a lot of opportunity through that, and I said, "Yeah, like, let's try this soccer thing for college," and I took it as like, my mindset with that was I didn't want to go D1 just because my family is very hey, this is your decision. We'll trust you, whatever decision you want to go. And I always wanted to go to a smaller school. And I know there's small D1s out there, but I wasn't really training my mind to think I need to go D1, I need to do this, because my family was very open with whatever I wanted, whether that be not playing a sport, playing a sport, whatever. So I was looking through, I was looking at D1s, I was looking at D2 and whatnot, and Marian NAIA, which is basically just another division, kinda, but we just play other NAIA schools, and in the spring, actually, we're playing all our competition is D1. So you get a mix of everything here, but I got familiar with NAIA through my brothers because they play baseball at NAIA school. So I kind of had that in the back of my mind, and through that recruiting process, I was very torn between Florida and Marian in Indiana. And I was drawn to Florida because I am a Florida girly, as I said before. And I think what drew me here to say yes to Marian is the coaches and the players. I visited both schools. I had ID camps. I did a soccer visit. And I think the coaches here took me as a person instead of a number on like their list of players that they needed to see. And here the coaches allowed me to say hi to the team, and like they took me out to lunch and dinner, and they got to see me as a person rather than just a player, which I found was very neat, and I wanted to come here ever since. So that's kind of like how I got here. And then being here is just, what I said before. It's just a family, it's a culture, it's everything that you need. And it's basically the whole package, to be honest. It's everything that I wanted, to be honest. Yeah.
I love that. I mean, I think that answer, and talk a little bit about the scholarship and money with NAIA, because I think a lot of people think that the only opportunity to get financial help is through a D1 scholarship.
Yeah, that's not true.
Yeah.
I'm getting plenty of financial help.
Yeah.
I got a academic scholarship here, and Marian is expensive, don't get me wrong, but it's like the scholarship that I have has helped me out quite a bit. So I get an academic scholarship, and then on top of that, I have the soccer scholarship that I'm receiving. And then you have ability to reach out to financial aid or whatever it is to look for additional scholarships here. So it's not just D1. It's not like I'm going full ride to this and you're not, you're getting competition whether you go D1 or not. You're
Yeah, I
getting
agree with you.
what you need, like as a person and a player. What you need is, it does not have to go D1. It doesn't have to go D2. It could be NAIA, anything like that. And if it is D1, great. Like, that's amazing. There's other options for you.
Yeah, I agree. And you're in a major that you wanted. I think that that's also important.
Yes.
You
Yes.
picked a school for a major, you're in nursing. And I think that's something I see a lot with the athletes that I work with is sometimes they're willing to give up what they see themselves doing in the future to play at a school that may not have their major. Or, as you know, with nursing, with clinicals and stuff, it becomes super tricky with some sports
Yes.
because you can't. So, talk to people like that. I mean, I know nursing is, there's other majors, but nursing is one that comes to mind quite a bit. And a lot of athletes end up leaving sport because they can't do it all, but you can at a school like Marian.
Yes. So a lot of schools actually that I looked at told me I can't do nursing.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting because, I hate to say this to any athletic lover, like, I'm not gonna get a degree in soccer. I wanna get a degree in nursing. And I think that was my main pull here as well, is that they offered me the ability to be a nurse and to be a soccer player. But basically, with how small the school is, I guess, or how close-knit the school is, the teachers here are amazing. They make time for you to commit to your athletic journey, but also commit to the nursing program or engineering program or whatever it is. And, it's nothing like you can't do that without communicating with your coaches and with your teachers. It's a whole cycle of back and forth emailing, back and forth texting. You have to be vocal in, hey, I'm going to be missing this exam. Hey, I'm going to be, I have practice at this time. I think I should get into the other section of the class. Whatever it is, like you have to be vocal in communicating and working it out. And I think Marian is great because they allow you to do that, and the teachers are very open to college athletes.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible, and it's interesting. I don't know what it's like at other schools, but a lot of times in some of the higher Division I programs, the student athlete isn't doing any of that. Like, somebody is actually communicating for them. So I love that you are actually taking a leadership and an adult role, being able to
Mhm.
advocate and communicate for yourself, that somebody else isn't micromanaging that for you. There's a lot of growing up that happens when you take ownership of your schedule and the direction that you wanna go and what you wanna get out of the day.
Yes. Yes. I honestly like, the communication that my coach has with my professors is very minimal, and it's, like, I'm the bridge to allow them to communicate and allow them to connect. So, I take it very on me and personal that I have to take ownership, and if something goes wrong between the communication of being a student and being an athlete.
That's incredible. That is absolutely amazing. I do wanna switch gears here for a little bit, and I wanna
Mhm.
talk about, I know Caitlin alluded to this, the college experience as far as how was it different than high school? Let's talk about the fitness piece of it. Let's talk about,
Yeah.
did you feel like you had to be in better fitness going in as a college athlete? Did you realize that you had some maturing to do as far as, strength and cardiovascular fitness, or even maybe
Mhm.
knowledge of the game? And then what do you do on the off season? Fill people in there.
Yeah, so, obviously, senior in high school, I'm like, I need to be at my best top shape to go into college because I have no expectation on what it's gonna look like. So, with my amazing trainer who's on the call, she
This is not a shameless plug, by the way.
Um, but basically all the work you did, like, you trained me well. You trained me well, let me tell you that. But coming in, obviously, I was expecting, in high school, in my mind, I was like, "Okay, I'm one of the top players, like,
Yeah.
fitness-wise, player-wise, whatnot." And then I come in to college and I'm thinking that mindset. I have that mindset of like, "Oh, I'm gonna smoke everyone." And that wasn't the case. And I mean, it was definitely like eye-opening, like I have to improve my fitness, and my fitness was not bad, let me tell you. It was not bad, but, you just have to compete. That's the only thing, is the only switch. You have to keep your mindset has to be like, "Okay, I need to compete with this girl, I need to compete with that girl," but not in a competitive way, just to, like, have yourself get better and allow your team to get better in that way.
Mm,
You're not compete it's a team sport, you're not competing with each other, you're helping each other improve. so you can compete with other teams.
Yeah, I
So
think that's so interesting because you're right. You were a fabulous high school athlete. Obviously, you were in shape. You played in a super competitive high school program. It's a different level in college because now you're playing
Mhm.
against 12 of you as opposed to,
Right.
a variety. So it is different. And yeah, I think going in sometimes that freshman year, you're like, holy smoke, this is a different ball of wax, and everyone here is as good as me. I
Yes.
love that you talked about the competition, and I think that gets tricky, right? That's tricky with kids. You're not competing against each other, and yet if you get better, the next person also gets better. And that happens in any
Yes.
sport. Obviously a team sport like soccer, but it also happens in what people would consider an individual sport like cross country or track. And I talk to
Mhm.
athletes about that all the time. Like if you get better, the next person is also getting better. And,
Right.
and that is part of what you need. If you're the best kid on the team all of the time, I sometimes think that that can get tricky because I sometimes think there's less room to grow because you don't think you have to do as much. And it's not as much proving yourself. It is about improvement as opposed to proving yourself. It's that you want to get better, you want to
Right.
achieve more. And as you're moving into college, and this is something I want to ask you, have you noticed that you're actually able to express fitness as your body matures and you get used to some of the load, and you can actually work a little harder in the weight room and you can work a little harder at practice because your body is literally maturing. Your bones are getting thicker, your muscles are getting bigger, your injury risk
Mhm.
goes down. Have you felt any of that?
Yeah, completely. We go in our weight room with our trainer who's amazing. I think 2 times in the fall, like a week, and then right now in the spring, since we're off, we go 3 times. And freshman year, I didn't even know how to do a clean.
Yeah.
So, and now I'm teaching the younger people on our team how to, with form. I'm teaching them how to do a clean and do this. And obviously the trainer's there. He's like the expert, but
Right.
I definitely feel my body getting stronger, but also built and faster and what I need in order to compete on the field.
Yeah, I agree. And that's what I wish that, we're here to educate athletes and coaches and caretakers. And that's something that I wish athletes would understand is that muscle development and that fitness, it does mature as your body matures. And
Mhm.
skeletally, we're just not able to absorb all of that strength or even some of that fitness. Like you're only so capable at 16. Things look a lot different when you're 20. I mean, that maturity, particularly for a female, makes such a difference. And one of the things that I think we are beginning to observe as kids are actually starting to train prematurely too hard in high school, I do think you see risk of injury where these are things that are supposed to be preventing injury. And yet that is not what's happening. Statistically, you're actually seeing injury rates go up. So if we allow athletes, particularly female athletes, to grow and develop at a rate that's appropriate for their age and for their bodies, it has nothing to do with, their ability to be fit. Of course you can be fit, but you are certainly more able to be stronger, fitter, faster at 22 than you are at 16. And I'll debate anybody on that. We do not want to be peaking kids at 17 years old. We
Mhm.
want kids to have long careers. My guess is that after college, when you're in your nursing career, my guess is you will still play competitive soccer.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, like you want to be in sport for a lifetime, right?
Oh, yeah. I after my I finish college here, my soccer career, I'm definitely gonna be doing some sort of fitness, whether it be soccer, pickleball, anything like that, which is 'cause it's I have that mindset of, like,
Yeah.
I I like to be energized by fitness and whatever it is. I mean, I don't really necessarily love running, but After
Who does?
soccer, if I want to run, I'll run, But I also want to say, to your point, 16 and 20 look so different.
Thank
And
you.
you're,
Yes.
you can see your body changing, becoming stronger, becoming fitter. Like, you see your body change 16 to 20, your mind has to change. Like,
Yeah,
you're not the same body as you were 4 years ago. Hate to break it to you. And so that didn't click with me until recently, because I saw changes in my body which were good, but I just hadn't seen it as much as I did in high school, and I just had to train my body or my mind to think, okay, I'm changing in the best way possible.
Yeah, Erin, can you talk a little bit more about your mind changing? Because that I think is something athletes do not understand completely when you're in high school, that your mentality needs to adapt as your body does. Are there ways that you've also changed your mindset with how you deal with stress, good stress and bad stress, how you approach really competitive situations? Like, what has your experience been with that?
So, first, the mindset with the body and your mind. For me, I think I had trouble, like, knowing that I gained weight, knowing that I, look different. I'm not as skinny or whatever it is. But in my mind, I am now saying, "Hey, I am a college athlete. I am lifting heavier. I am running faster. I am pushing these girls off the ball better." On and off the field, I feel better than I did at 16. I might not look the same, but I am doing everything possible to feel good, like, in my own skin. And I think, you know, I just hate, like, social media. Let's get into that a little bit.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah. Like, I see, like, all these, like, social media posts about body image and stuff like that, and obviously I know I don't have that. I'd Everyone has their own body, and you just have to train your mind to think, God gave me this body for a reason, and I have to maintain it in the best way possible with the fuel, with nutrition, with hydration, with whatever you need to feel your best. And that is my mindset right now, that it wasn't when I came in and my body was going through those changes. But now I realize that. But then switching topics to stressful environments, good stress, bad stress. I think I feel most stressed in the beginning of games, as most athletes do. But how I deal with it is I have a routine and I stick to it. I don't change it. I put my headphones on, walk into the locker room. I literally have it to a T. I put my right shin guard on. I put my left shin guard on. Like, it's just those little details help me prepare for that match or prepare for that practice. And I think I deal with that high stress with little details that will help me breathe. And don't forget to take a deep breath. Like, that's a huge thing. But with the good stress, like, with bad stress comes good stress. Like, you're just adrenaline high, like, all the time. And, you know, you're with the people that you love. You're competing at a game that you love. And it just comes with risks and it comes with rewards. And that's all I got to say.
Well said, Erin.
Thank you.
I'm kind of tearing up over here. I'm not kidding you. It is for a couple reasons. I have to pause for a minute. First of all, you're somebody that I have known her entire life. That's not true. I've known you a long time. I mean, when she says she played tennis, she played like in the street next to our house, like with rackets and no net. I mean, like nobody like loved sport more than these kids did. I mean, it was hilarious. But the idea that don't have open and transparent conversations about the journey of a female body and what it's going to look like and the changes that it does go through, because you're right, Erin, there isn't a chance you could compete at the level you're competing at if you had the body that you had when you were a 16-year-old in high school. You would break. You couldn't keep up. And listen, body image is such a real thing, but here's what I think. I think there is no way somebody athletic and strong and kind and generous and all of the things that you are, there's no way she's going to feel that. And of course you do, because it's such a human response.
Yes.
And so that's why we're here. Like, we want to be able to have those open and transparent conversations, but it happens to all of us in some way or another. And so the fact that you're able to articulate that so beautifully is going to give so much hope and encouragement to somebody out there listening. And that is why we are here, because it happens to all of us. It is such a normal, human response to some social, cultural ideal that somebody invented, that we are all supposed to look this way, or worse, if you're a runner you look this way, and if you're a soccer player you look that way. And that that has to change, and I do think that we are moving in the right direction. I think we are. I think we're moving in the right direction, but it's because humans like you are willing to share their vulnerability and to share their experience and help people understand that there is a way through this, and it doesn't matter what I think I'm supposed to quote look like, because of all those things that you said. You're able to move more weight, you're able to lift more, you're able to defend more. I mean, like, those are the things that you're able to do because your body went through the natural biological changes it was intended to do. So
Yes.
yeah, thank you. And the mindset thing was so spot on. Like, I love that you talked about doing all of the little things and got down to the detail. Is my left shin guards first, the right is second, and then I take my deep breath. And I love that idea of routine, because you're spot on. Like, if without pressure, you're not an exceptional athlete. Like, you have to have a little excitement and a little adrenaline going. Otherwise, can you imagine getting on the soccer field just kind of being like, yeah, it's a Tuesday. Like, I mean, like, it doesn't work.
Right.
You can't be competitive.
Right. I mean, with the pressure, like, if you don't feel pressure, then, like, what are you playing for almost? You get on the field and you're like, I don't care if there's not any, like, nervousness or pressure. At least in my mind, that's how I think about it.
You and me both.
Yeah.
All right. I could talk forever, but I know we do have to wind down. Caitlin, what else do you have before we get cooled down here?
Yeah, I just want to say how amazed I am hearing about your transition from high school to college, how you've adapted not only athletically, but mentally and socially. You've cultivated such an amazing environment with your team. And I'm just so excited that you have that leadership opportunity, because you have such a great head on your shoulders. And the fact that the girls coming into the team are able to look up to that and have such a healthy understanding of athletics is just so inspiring. So congratulations. And yeah, Erin, Samson's going to get you cooled down, but I'm so glad you were able to come on here and talk.
Yeah, thank you, Caitlin. I miss you so much.
Miss you so much.
All right. Actually, Caitlin, I was going to ask you if you wanted to ask the cool down question.
Oh
Does that
my
feel like too
God.
much pressure?
This is a little pressure, but you know what? I can deal with it. I think good pressure is good. Okay. Erin. Okay, I'm going to ask, okay, I'll start with one of my favorite questions Samson likes to ask. What is one thing that a coach has said to you that has always stood out? This could be in a funny way. This could be in a, ooh, yeah, I'm going to remember that forever way. Is there anything you can remember back from high school or just anything?
Yeah. This popped out right away when you asked this question. Super random, but my assistant coach here, Mike Beckner, first time meeting me, he goes, "What's your go-to hype song before the game?" I don't know. I have no idea. I just set a playlist. So I'm like, I don't know. Probably something by Black Eyed Peas. And I was like, 'cause, my dad driving me to games as a kid would always blast Black Eyed Peas. Always.
That's hilarious.
And I think that'll stick with me because if I get asked that again, like the same question, song, like what hypes me up, it would always go back to Black Eyed Peas.
That is such an amazing answer. And I think that is just spot on because no better person to get you hyped up than the Black Eyed Peas, in my opinion.
Right. Right. Like I Got a Feeling gets me really hyped up.
I can't. I'm totally going to think of that forever whenever I hear the Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess another cool down question I have is, what after any game, super long practice, if you could have any meal in the world ready for you, what would it be?
Oh goodness, this is hard. I would
We
probably
ask hard-hitting questions.
We do.
right. I would probably do my mom's chicken broccoli casserole.
Oh, yum.
Oh.
Yes. Or Lou Malnati's. It's a pizza place. If
Classic.
anyone listening
Chicago
does not
classic.
know. Yep.
Shout out.
good.
It's so good. I miss it, and I'll be home for Easter, and that'll be my first meal back. So
Chicken
That-
casserole or the pizza?
both.
Both.
Let's do both.
I have to say, I did not know that was your favorite pizza. We digress sometimes on the podcast, but I had a couch that I needed to move.
Oh.
so I like convinced Erin and her brothers to move this couch. It was actually pouring rain. And the couch had to go outside and then back down another thing. I'm like, I need like some strong kids. Will you guys come move this couch? And as a thank you, I gave them a Illuminati's. I don't think I say it right. Illuminati's gift card for a pizza.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you did, and we
That's
got
fun.
it that night. We got it.
That's
that night.
hilarious. See, you have to refuel.
Yeah, right. I maybe put a pinky on the couch and watch my brothers move it. So,
It's okay, you got the pizza.
and I did.
That's awesome.
That's hilarious. Well, Caitlin, thank you for cooling us down. I totally appreciate that. Erin, thank you so
Absolutely.
much for being here and taking the
course.
time. I do have to say before we sign off here, as Erin was talking about the leadership roles that she has in relationship to sport and school, that's one of the reasons we want to keep girls in sport. And girls actually drop out at a significantly higher rate than boys. They drop out starting as young as middle school because of some of the things that we were talking about, body image issues. Sometimes it's just lack of access, and you don't have a dad that can drive you to a game listening to Black Eyed Peas. But when you look at people like Caitlin, who played a sport all through high school, who's taking on huge leadership roles at her college and in her sorority, and you look at Erin, who's playing sport not only through high school but in college, and the leadership roles that she is taking, I hope this really encourages you to keep your young girls in sport because they will grow up to be incredible humans like these two young women, and they will grow into the future leaders of tomorrow. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. If you love this episode like we hope you did, please make sure you share with a female athlete or coach you love. It helps more than you can imagine.